Here we have some practice problems with triangle congruence using angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side. So if you remember, we have to read the triangles in order, and some of these can get really confusing, like this first one right here. It says, is angle ABS congruent to AF or AVF? So when triangles are overlapping, what I like to do is I like to kind of sketch them separate, okay? So that's what I'm going to do here. And I know that these two angles are congruent here. And I know that this side right here, I've got a 2 and a 1. So we're just going to call that a 3. So I've got a 3 and I've got a 2 and a 1 over here. And then if you look, these triangles actually share this angle right here, right? So that angle has to be congruent when we separate it because it's the same angle. That's that reflexive property that we learned about way back in Unit 1. The property that seems kind of silly that we have to learn about it, but now it kind of makes sense why we have to have it. It's the same angle, so of course it's congruent to itself. But when we draw the picture separately, we need to keep that in mind. So now, are these two triangles congruent? Well, I have angle, side, angle, and angle, side, angle. So yes, by the angle, side, angle congruency postulate. Now down here, again, we've got some overlapping triangles, so I'm going to just draw those separately. So GAB, and you know, that looks like a right triangle right there in the picture. I can't prove that it's a right triangle. There's no right angle marked, so I can't say that it is. But I do know that those are congruent and those are congruent. Now look, this side right here, AB, that's shared by both of the triangles, so that's going to be congruent. Again, it's that reflexive property. It's not marked congruent, and it doesn't need to be because it's the same thing. But when we look at the two triangles separately, it makes a difference. And so are these two triangles congruent? Well, I have angle, side, angle, angle, side, and I have angle, angle, side here. So yes, they are congruent by angle, angle, side. And one more here. It looks like we've got some angles going on. I do have this side right here that's congruent on both. So let's draw them separately. So that's 88 degrees. Okay, so I'm just sketching, right? It doesn't make a difference. It's not obviously even close, but that's okay. So let's see here. I know that this is 88 degrees and this is 15. I'm not really sure where else. I could figure out this angle right here, and then I could figure out this angle right here, but that doesn't really, well, I guess that would mean that these two angles would be congruent, because this right here, this would, looks like it would be an isosceles triangle, because these would be, so it looks like it would be an isosceles triangle, so I could say that these two angles right here are congruent. So it looks like, yes, these two triangles would be congruent by angle, angle, side. And then we have one more on the next page. And again, we've got kind of some craziness going on here. So I know that I have this triangle and this triangle. So I know I have 5 millimeters here, and then I have something here, but I have that same something plus 5 millimeters here. So those are actually congruent. These angles are congruent, and these angles back here are congruent. So here I have angle, side, angle. So again, yes, these are congruent by angle, side, angle.